Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.
Entrepreneurship is about seizing new opportunities and nurturing ideas that help address global pressing problems. Entrepreneurship allows people understand their ideas, market value, helping them improve their lives by launching ventures that on Business Focus, we empower you with entrepreneurship skills that help you transform your innovations into products and services that enable you save time, boost productivity, all while creating jobs. On today's show, building capacity in the arts sector in Kenya through talent management. We spend time with comedians who have turned their skills into income-generating activities. Send in your feedback about the show on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. You can also use our email address bf@standardmedia.co.ke or SMS number 8041. I'm Joy Doreen Bira. Welcome to the show. Business Beyond Limits highlights and solves problems affecting growth in the Kenyan SME sector. This week, we seek solutions on how youth can manage their talent to reach a higher level of professionalism and access sustainable income.
The Kenyan entertainment industry is on a revolution mode, awash with talent and increasingly taking their professional direction. In the first decade of the millennium alone, the Kenyan entertainment industry has grown by leaps and bounds. Kenyan artists are gaining more international appeal but still have a long way to go. One of the greatest challenges Kenyan artists face to date is transforming their skills into long-term income-generating activities. Those who manage to still face the challenge of gearing their profits into long-term investments due to the lack of talent and finance management skills. However, this is soon coming to an end with many entities like the Sarakasi Trust taking the lead to unite, organize and empower artists with both social and economic skills. From the outside, this can easily pass for an ordinary establishment, but it's until you get inside that you realize the potential it holds from the huge number of artists being nurtured.
Because Sarakasi is all about art and culture for economic development or cultural entrepreneurship, whereby we have young people coming here, we train them in dance, in acrobatics, and then after we train them, because we realize that is very good talent that they have, through our artist agency, we get paid performance. We engage them in paid performances, locally and internationally.
Sarakasi is the Swahili word for acrobatics. The Performing Arts Development Organization was established in Nairobi in 2001 in response to the urgent need for further development and growth in the cultural and performing arts and entertainment in East Africa, focusing on acrobatics, dance and music.
They learn different skills from different teachers. We bring in teachers from overseas, from Africa, the ones we do exchange programs with. So they teach these students from scratch to become professional artists.
The institution offers a platform to artists within which they can use to perfect their art, upon which they can build, express and showcase their skill. In Kenya, such spaces and platforms are not easily available and accessible, particularly to the youth from low-income backgrounds.
We also do social skills workshops on how to probably save whatever they get, how to even invest, because some of them step in here, they even don't have bank accounts. So those very basic things that are needed in order for someone to be a good steward of what comes into their pocket, it's something that the organization facilitates.
They work, they go overseas, they make a lot of money. If they don't get the kind of teaching that they're supposed to get, how to manage what they're getting, then there's nothing we're doing much.
In a country where unemployment levels are soaring, Sarakasi recognized performing arts to be a perfect alternative method of income generation.
The more we give them an exposure here in the trust, by interacting with others and interacting with our trainers, it deals with their mindsets and changes the way they see things, and they get to realize that they've got a chance in life. It's possible for them to make it in life, and that with what they are making, they can be able to save up.
The talent was discovered, but its only missing aspect was the structure within which it could be nurtured. Systems through which raw talent could be transformed into globally acceptable and eventually acclaimed quality cultural products and performance work.
And we try to get them to change their lives with what they're making, which has really worked here, because we have a lot of them who've changed and moved from the slum areas to very, very nice places. They've bought their houses. You know, they have business going on.
Sarakasi provides social development, training capacity program, cultural awareness programs, and also implements special programs such as the talent training, monthly musician workshops, and artist agency projects. John Washika is just one of the beneficiaries of the project that has benefited over 3,000 artists since its initiation.
Personally, myself, when I met the directors, I was an acrobatic performer. I was performing with one group known as Black Jumbo Acrobat. It's a group that was started in the late 80s. And then we were doing our own show nobody was teaching us, nobody was marketing us. It was just for ourselves, which it was so difficult, because even getting some money to go and book some shows, it was not easy.
He joined the project in the year 2001 as an amateur acrobat. He was empowered with both social and economic skills.
I was living in a small house in the slums in Kariobangi before I met Rudy and Marion, the directors. And life there was so difficult for me, because I had also my brothers and sisters and family who were depending on me. And the money that I was making was very little, that could not help me. So it was a struggling life.
His life changed after his group was contracted to hold several performances in Europe through the Sarakasi Trust.
Things changed, because after being given these international jobs and bringing some people to advise us on how to use our money, so I managed to invest my money to buy land. Like now I have my own house where I'm staying, and I have another plot that has I have some tenants.
From the money he made during the Europe performances, he's also able to invest wisely.
And I'm also paying school fees for my sister in university. I'm also helping my parents home in Kisumu, and this is all happening just because of Sarakasi.
He is currently an acrobatic trainer empowering youth with the same skills that were passed on to him years ago.
For Sarakasi, the acrobats were there, but it was so difficult for the acrobats to come together and share. It was like every group of acrobats wanted to do things by their own. They didn't want to share, because they were believing that if I show you something, you'll take it, you can take my job. So there was that fear. But when Sarakasi was introduced, it brought the acrobats together, bringing them to one training place and exchanging the idea.
Sarakasi has employed 35 staff on a full-time basis, reaches over 1,000 young people on a weekly basis in its outreach and training programs.
The acrobats, they were cheap, because they didn't know how to market themselves. But when Sarakasi came in, it changed a lot, from the show, costume, and the appearance of somebody himself, the lookout, and also it brought discipline in the marketing industry. Like the way people pay now is a big difference with the way people were paying before Sarakasi.
Today, Sarakasi goes beyond the world-class acrobatics, dance and music training and exchange programs and commits themselves to social, professional and economic development of artists.
They make quite an amount of money, because we have a dancer getting paid an average of 5,000 per show. So if that dancer will go for like 6 shows in a month, that is how much? That is 5 times 5, that is 25,000, or even 30,000. International exchanges, a good international exchange like one we've had with the UK, Bond Leisure, you'd get an artist making even 400,000 within a span of 4 or 5 months.
Their spirited endeavor remains set on providing artists with skill set and information that will catalyze their long-term social and economic transformation and inclusion in society. The organization has proved that Kenya's talented artists in their respective ventures can flourish if this talent is well managed.
In Emerging Enterprises, we take a look at how one can turn their talent into a sustainable income-generating activity. And this week, we take a look at comedy. Business Focus will be right back. Don't go away.
Talent management is a crucial facet in realizing an artist's long-term success in this challenging and competitive world. For Owen Mwatia, popularly known as Daddy Owen, his successful musical career has been as a result of prudent management. With several musicians performing well in the industry, it has been important to manage talent to reap the benefits that comes with it. Young people easily deviate from the career paths due to factors associated with either fame or success. In talent management, one must understand the strengths and weaknesses involved and to map up practical, lasting solutions.
To manage talent in this country is very, very hard, to be honest. I think that's where, even right now, I've started my own company just to manage talent. As years go by, we've discovered that guys are buying our music, corporates are coming into the industry and they're investing. But where we're going wrong right now, I can say, is the talent management.
Through KCB, Daddy Owen has been able to grow his musical career faster through financial support and prudent training and advice.
He's one of the banks in this country that really, I see them try so much to make sure that they're even doing what the youth are asking of. As in, when you hear about Bankika, it's very, very youthful. Even right now, as a musician, there's an organization called MCSK. And for MCSK to pay you, you must open an account with Bankika before they start rushing money at your account, which is a very cool thing because, to be honest, it used to be very hectic.
KCB has innovative products and services that are tailor-made to offer financial solutions to the youth. Bankika na KCB is a proposition that offers young, talented individuals the kind of financial support they need.
Households across the nation get to be entertained every week courtesy of KTN's Kenya Kona comedy show. The show has some of the veteran comedians such as Jalango, Otoyo, Mashamba and many new comedians who are trying to carve a niche in the industry.
Unataka niendelee kutasma ito? Si Wes.
Kenya Kona is one of the fast-growing comedy shows in Kenya that works closely with local artists in tapping their talent and enabling them sustain their livelihoods from the trade.
Ladies and gentlemen,
James Chanji Wamukoya, known as Mshamba, is one of the ardent comedians in the industry.
What I'm doing right now is stand-up comedy, but I've done situation comedy. Actually, the character Mshamba came out of situation comedy. We used to do a program on called In True Colors, and I was told to come up with a creative character. So I thought of Mshamba cuts across the low class and the high class. There's always a Mshamba somewhere. So that's how the Mshamba came in.
His name depicts his character that is built around a man who has just arrived from the village to the big city.
Mahali tunatoka kuna watu wanaitwa professional mourners. Hawa ni watu ambao wanalipwa kulia kwa matanga.
We do a lot of corporate shows outside. Apart from the TV and the radio show, we are invited by corporates to MC, to do skits based on what they are launching in the market. Apart from that, we also, I'm involved in a lot of creative work in terms of creating adverts, creating campaigns for advertising agencies and all that.
The artist began acting at the age of 12 before going professional. He is the brain behind most comedy shows that air on Kenyan TV.
Roughly, a comedian who's at his peak in a month would do $1 million. but the average comedian will do around 50 to 100.
He suggests that comedy pays, but most artists fail to invest and later end up regretting.
We make a lot of money, but we also spend it. And we thought if we could come up with an investment scheme through maybe the Wasanii Sacco, the artists can be able now to invest well.
Within Kenya Kona, they nurture other artists to keep the chain flowing.
We wanted a show that would live beyond us. We also wanted a podium whereby upcoming comedians can be able to get a chance to get into the industry. Because like us, we got the industry by default.
Shamba is credited as one of the pioneers of local comedy who have played a big role in revolutionizing local laughter industry.
One, create a name, create your brand, and don't just copy, because when you copy, you're not your brand. You'll be associated as a shadow brand to somebody else. Once you've created your brand, make sure that you maintain, and that's the only way you'll earn a living out of the industry. For example, I'll give you an example of Jalango, Churchills, and the rest. You see, they build a name, now they're reaping from their name. And your brand is the most important asset you have, whatever you do.
He suggests that comedy is just like any other profession, but one has to be able to manage his brand and invest from the returns they make. And that's all we had on this week's show. Now, I've learned that as entrepreneurial wealth increases and fortunes are made at a rapid rate, the challenge that faces newly wealthy individuals and families is the need to plan for the future. Well, we continue to welcome your questions, your suggestions and comments on the show on our email address bf@standardmedia.co.ke or our SMS number 8041. We also welcome your views on our social media platform where this conversation continues, that is on Facebook and on Twitter. From myself and the rest of the KTN team, thank you all for watching Business Focus. My name is Joy Doreen Bira. Good night.
Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.